Welcome to the finale of Cron Mastery. Here's the uncomfortable truth that ties this whole course together. A cron job that doesn't run looks exactly like a cron job that runs invisibly. In both cases, nothing happens, and nobody notices until something downstream breaks. So in this lesson, we close the loop with 3 questions every production job needs to answer. Did it run? Did it succeed? And did it run on time? To answer those questions, you'll pick up 4 skills here. First, dead man's switches, a single curl line at the end of your job that pings a monitoring service, so silence becomes its own alert. Second, healthchecks.io, either the hosted version or self-hosted, both giving you a ping endpoint in about 5 minutes. Third, distinguishing the 2 failure modes. A job that ran and failed is a different signal from a job that never ran at all. And fourth, wiring it all into one production chain. Cron, flock, logging, ping, monitor, email, on-call. Each piece is small. Together, nothing slips through. Here's why monitoring matters so much. Picture 3 scenarios. In the first, the job ran and succeeded cleanly. In the second, it ran but crashed. Database down, disk full, exit code non-zero. In the third, cron never fired at all. From the outside, all 3 look identical. Nothing visible happens, and that's the trap. Without instrumentation, a healthy job and a dead one produce exactly the same evidence to the user. That's the most expensive bug in cron. The fix is to flip the question. Instead of asking the job to shout when it fails, you ask it to whisper when it succeeds. And let an external service scream when that whisper goes missing. On the left, the traditional pattern, pipe failure into mail. It catches a crash, but only if cron ran and only if mail still works. On the right, the dead man's switch. Append a curl to a ping endpoint after a successful run. Silence past the threshold becomes the alert. And that single line catches all 3 scenarios for free. Healthchecks.io gives you 3 endpoints and each one answers a different question. The plain ping on UUID is your success heartbeat. Fire it after the job exits cleanly and the alert clock resets. The start variant goes right before the work begins, so the service can measure duration and catch jobs that hang past their window. And fail is your explicit distress signal, letting you tell the difference between a job that crashed and one that never ran at all. So here's the whole chain, 6 links from cron line to your phone. On the forward path, cron fires, the wrapper grabs a flock and runs your command, curl pings the UUID on success, and the monitor resets its timer. On the failure path, no ping arrives, the timer expires past its grace window, the webhook fans out to Slack, email, or your pager. And within minutes, you know that backup hasn't checked in for 26 hours. That's it. Every silent failure we've talked about, caught. And here it is, the whole course collapsed into one cron line. 3 a.m. daily. Flock guarantees no overlap. A start ping opens the duration window, the backup runs, and then one of 2 things happens. Success pings the base URL, failure pings /fail. That distinction matters. A fail ping tells you the job ran and broke, which is a completely different alert from silence, meaning it never ran at all. Everything else, sit out and stare, lands in the log for when you need to go read what actually happened. And that one line is really the whole course in miniature. Look back across the 12 rows and you'll see the arc. We started with what cron actually is, a demon ticking once a minute against a file, and we ended here, with a dead man's switch that closes the loop. The one sentence at the bottom is the thing I want you to carry away. A cron job is software you can't see, can't easily test, and won't get a chance to debug. So you build the protection in up front, and you make it tell you when it ran. So here's your cheat sheet. The page worth printing and taping somewhere visible. The left column is every ping endpoint shape you'll actually use. Success, start, fail, exit code, log body. The middle column is your hosting choice. From healthchecks.io, free tier up through self-hosted or Croniter if you prefer. And the right column is the copy-paste muscle memory, the curl tails, the ping wrap, the systemed exec start post line. One sheet, the whole toolkit. Now, if a hosted ping service isn't an option, air-gapped network, compliance pushback, or you just don't want another vendor, you can rebuild the core idea in about 30 lines of bash. The pattern is simple. Every watched job touches a pulse file when it succeeds, and this script, run from Cron every 5 minutes, checks that each pulse file exists and was updated within its threshold. Missing file or stale timestamp, you get a logger alert. That's the whole dead man switch. No SAS required. So you've built the pings, the dead man switch, the whole chain, and now here are the 5 ways teams still manage to defeat it in production. Untested alerts that quietly broke months ago, shared inboxes where nobody owns the page, tight periods that false alarm on cron jitter until the channel gets muted, success pings that fire even when the script failed halfway, and one UUID for every job, so when something breaks, you have no idea what. Each of these has a one-line fix on the right, apply them, and the monitoring you just built actually stays trustworthy. 12 lessons, and here's what they add up to. The schedule is the cron line, the execution is the wrapper, the observability is the ping, and you are the one who closes the loop. So go audit your real boxes. Pick one job, add the UUID, test the alert, and prove it pages. Then do the next one, then the next. Thank you for taking the course.